Story of Jewish refugee children who were rehomed in the village of Talaton to escape the Holocaust as part of the Second World War Kinder Transport Scheme.
More than 80 years have passed since the traumatic upheaval which brought the children to foster homes here in the West Country. But it's a story which has echoes in the current crisis facing families fleeing the war in Ukraine, as Bob Cruz now reports.
We've been through so much together, and the events that will unfold in this, our story, will show you how we became so close.
The play they're rehearsing is a true story about the Kinder Transport children, Jewish refugees who were sheltered here during the Second World War.
Talaton provided a sanctuary for those fleeing the persecutions and the pogroms of Europe. Where possible, I've used words that were actually spoken, or words that were written, or letters that were written by the children. All of these archives are retained by the families, and they shared them with me. It's a great responsibility, actually, because you've got to make sure that what you write is true.
200 boys and girls wave a greeting to England.
Thousands of predominantly Jewish children were brought to the UK from Nazi-controlled territory just before the war broke out. In many cases, they were the only members of their families who survived the Holocaust. The play tells the story of those who were brought here to Talaton, a village not far from Exeter, where foster families opened their doors and brought them up as their own.
We will take the parts of the Fraudenreich sisters. I will portray Paula. I was 9 years old when we came to this country, and I couldn't speak any English.
And I will take on the role of Hedwig, barely 8 and 9 years old. They left behind parents, 4 siblings, and they were completely wiped out. They were the only 2 members of their family to survive because they just happened to have been the right age, and their parents were brave enough to put them on that train and wave them off.
It is a very relevant story, particularly in the current times with the Ukraine crisis. It really speaks of the catastrophe that's going on then and now. But I think it's very important to keep this alive. And I think what's so lovely is that it's a local story. It's a positive story of redemption.
And to remind everybody that, that's one of the things that we as humans do really, really well, is caring for other people. And if we can all take that lesson and learn it, that'd be fantastic for us all.
Isa Schneider was one of those Kinder Transport children. Now 92 years old and a great-grandmother, Isabella Weber lives in Ivybridge. She says she'll never forget the kindness shown to her by the Gliddens who took her in.
For me personally, it gave me security. Because originally, of course, I came out of Germany into Poland. And then from Poland over here, and it was sort of a roller coaster. So, it was security. They were just country folk. I mean, they hardworking, they didn't have much money. Really, the kindness and the love of their hearts to do it, to take in somebody else's children, not being able to speak English either. So that was quite a big thing for them to take on. For us, I think they just thought they would have us for about 6 months or so. And then it landed up for, years. And whether people are thinking about that, now, with taking in refugees, I mean, it's quite something for them to do it,
She will be coming to see the play at the end of the month, along with 2 other surviving members of that group, Gerd and Manfred Corman, who are travelling over from America, where they eventually settled. Other relatives are coming from Israel. A total of 60 people connected with those original Kinder Transport children have been invited to a special reception here as their remarkable story is told on stage. Bob Cruz, ITV News, Talaton.
Truly is remarkable, isn't it?
I've never heard of it before. Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Now, around 2/3 of adults